the superintendent, the representative, where they will say they will do they want it, do they want to do that one. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market in the bush, all of my beauty, my black ball, some of my
where you say.
Embarrass her under the former President Ria regime. But since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life. It's a real challenge for us as a motorcycle and we run in relative to say we are failure foreigners.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there. The University of Liberia is the state-owned institution, the highest institution of learning in this country.
So how does today make you feel, Kasala?
Make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along, I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people call me and say, $10 million again? Well, what is that?
Good morning from Painesville. This is K News at 6. 45 minutes of trending news in Liberia, Africa, and other parts of the world. Today is the 29th of July 2025. On this presentation, my name is Daniel Theophilus, presenting this edition of K News. Let's bring you our first development here on this news presentation. Vice President Jeremiah Kpankun has reaffirmed Liberia's strong commitment to building inclusive, resilient, and sustainable food system. VP Kun made the commitment while addressing the United Nations Food System Summit currently underway in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Speaking on behalf of President Boakai, Vice President Kun thanked the government of Ethiopia and Italy for hosting what he described as a very important Paris Summit to assess the strong made since the inaugural UN Food System Summit for 4 years. The Vice President outlined Liberia's national priorities for food system transformation, emphasizing 3 key areas: nutrition, sensitive agriculture, aimed to reducing stunting and malnutrition among the country's most vulnerable population, climate-smart agriculture practices, development in partnership with local farmers, and cooperative and inclusive governance frameworks that ensure active participation of youth, women, and marginalized communities. While acknowledging progress, Kun urged delegates to focus beyond statistics and engage in honest reflection. The Vice President emphasized the critical need for regional cooperation and reaffirmed Liberia's support for the African Union Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, and also stressed the connection between food security and peace building, especially in fragile and conflict-affected states. Liberia pledged continued support for the UN food system agenda and called on fellow nations to transform declarations into concrete actions that ensured food security for all. The 3-day summit held from July 27 to the 29th brings together global leaders, UN agencies, and key stakeholders to accelerate progress towards a sustainable food system linked with the Sustainable Development Goal. The Liberia Road Transport Union has distanced itself from the Go Slow protest staged by some commercial drivers on Monday, July 28, 2025. The union described the protest as not being the representation for the collective voice of the national transport body. Alexander Sua, who served as an advisor to the Liberia Road Transport Union, attributed the protest to weak and fragile leadership within the transport sector. Sua noted that the increasing number of unregulated unions across the country has created confusion, making it difficult to coordinate, unify actions or address concerns in an organized manner. He emphasized that Liberia Road Transport Union is a nationally recognized institution and that any strike or protest action must come through structured engagement and be backed by valid and collective reasons.
Federation is good and it's going well. One of the reasons that this identical thing on social media everywhere drew our attention is that we realize that people are not understanding the definition of being leaders of institutions. And the Federation Road Transport Union is a well-structured, organized institution with various layers. Before we get involved with any other thing, you got to be clear, we got to know the reason, you got to be factual, we got to know where it's coming from and why are some of the things we need to do to see how we can mitigate the actions that need to be taken. So from that background, when we heard people are going slow, they will begin confused. What's the cause? When you ask some of our colleagues, it becomes so difficult. Because one of the reasons the country has this kind of problem is you just come out and make anybody union, a single person representing a group with no structure. So for the matter of fact, you get the kind of thing you get it.
What's your stand on the overall?
Our stand is we are not involved with activities that we do not clearly understand why we go on the street for. So we're not part of it. Our drivers going about with their normative because we're not just a Monrovia-based union. We're a union across the country. So if we try to stage a protest, it means that the people in Banga will not be running, the people in Nimba will not be running, the people in Granjida will not be running, the people all across the country will not be running. And we'll have to give them reason why. And the reason we are not the one to even give it to them. They should give us the reason why we should support their initiative of protest. Because the pain that they will be feeling, what they'll be going through, is one of the things we will be speaking to us.
But is there...
We just want to tell our drivers to not allow themselves to be used by people. Because when you are used by people or push come to shove, they will not be there to stand for you because they will not show their face. It's never good to deal with somebody that is in the dark and pushing you with hands. We are leaders of the union. We are willing to take any bullet stand for you for the right cause. People who from the ministry, if they have their fight, you have nothing to do with their fight. Don't go there and get you used. Because the moment they call them to come and answer questions, they will not answer. They will deny these things. Go about your normal business. When the vehicle registration...
Hence, Alexander Sua, the speaking. President Joseph Numa Boakai has declared Wednesday, July 30th, 2025 as National Day of Prayer to be observed as a national holiday throughout Liberia. A group of aggrieved taxi drivers staged a peaceful protest against the concession agreement between the government of Liberia and the Liberia Traffic Management, or LTM. The driver says the agreement has given LTM too much power, resulting in what they describe as daily harassment, accessing ticketing, and a lack of accountability. Speaking to reporters, the protesters said they are pulled over and fined unnecessarily, and payment made to LTM are not supported by official government receipt. They also alleged that important documents, even those signed by the police director, are being withheld after payment. The protesters are calling on the national government to cancel the agreement and assign traffic duties to a more transparent and accountable public institution. During the protest, riot police from the Liberia National Police were deployed to the scene, but the demonstration remained peaceful with no report of injury or arrest.
Go into a 25-year deal with this foreign company, right? At the end of the day, where it will be at the detriment of the ordinary job. And let me tell you something for sure. If the jobs are affected, the ordinary business people will be affected. All of those passengers will be affected. So we said no to the 25 years deal with the European company, and we are not going to allow it to work. We sent this message to the President of Liberia, Joseph Numa Boakai, to make sure that he addressed this issue with immediate effect. Other than that, We are going to remain consistent, persistent, and if
Instead of transport minister, transport minister signature is the police ID signature is on it. You can see, it's the signature on it. Inspector General of the National Police. So now what I'm telling you, we're doing business with foreign company. We're not doing business with transport. When they issue one ticket, they get winner there, they get a whole bank there. We can go pay instead of paying. No RRBC. That they will get their no RRBC. You get the lesson for interface.
They're not getting involved. You pay the money to the
involved. You pay the money to the involved and they get a lesson.
Why is there no RRBC?
I hate to hate you doing that. We're not paying to LRA no more.
They go out far. Even get the police all of.
The vehicle they're using, the tow truck they're using, no lesson plate. No lesson plate on the vehicle, no lesson plate on the tow truck. And they're using it, they're going to be down to enforce the law. While they're driving the bike, everything, they're not registering, no show. As soon as they see your car, the registration expires for 2-3 days, they tow it and carry it. And when they carry it, they show, they register it and take transport plate on there, put an plate there. So the forcing driver to go under there. So we are against it, so I want to pass for them.
So we don't have a lesson to take. We want to go to the worker. We confused. They won't give me the state of Salima. We don't know where to go. You go to the place where we can transport. We know. Transport minister. So for me, I want to go to my car and get my lesson. I want to transport. So you see the people, I'm a small thing. I think because the reason why I'm going to go aggressive these days in getting ticket, because we got the inside stores that each ticket, the grave, the guy put that on each ticket. And you must say yes.
Protesting drivers, they're speaking to reporters during their peaceful action recently. The Progressive Student Alliance, PROSA, at the University of Liberia has announced a nationwide protest dubbed a March for Dignity to be held on Wednesday, August 27, 2025. The group says the protest aims to raise alarm over what it calls a national crisis of rape and gender-based violence. PROSA cited 2024 figures from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection indicating an average of 9 rape cases reportedly daily, amounting to 276 per month. Between January to October 2024, 2,759 rape cases were reported, with 68.7% occurring in Montserrat County, according to the statistics released by PROSA. The student group says the figures reflect a justice system that is slow on the resource. The unfriendly survivor have been silenced for too long. Speaking to the press recently at the University of Liberia, PROSA Chairman Justin W. Jaleba Jr. outlined 5 core demands, including fast-track rape court, consent education in schools, expanded crisis service, an end to victims blaming, and a national rape tracking system, and described the planned protest as a day of defiance and hope, meant to commemorate survivors and push for systematic reform. Jaleba emphasized that the students-led movement is working with civil society organizations, artists, religious leaders, and unions for simultaneous marches across the country. The student group warned that if the government failed to respond meaningfully, it will escalate severe pressure through all legal means. As of press time, neither the Ministry of Justice nor the Ministry of Gender has commented on the planned protest. PROSA insists that silence from the public officials is no longer acceptable in the face of widespread GBV. Former Finance Minister David Fahad is encouraging President Boakai to remain focused on moving the countries despite criticism from some quarters. He said it is not necessary for government officials to be shifting blame on past and current leaders for the countries regarding developmental initiative. Speaking in an interview with Kid News, Mr. Fahad pointed out that he wants President Boakai to take stringent action against government officials whom he considered indisciplined public servants, thus undermining the gain and efforts of the president. and asserted that the focus of the Unity Party government should be on the forward march of the country instead of responding to issues that will benefit the citizens.
There's a lot of yo-yo going on, people writing this, writing that, and I'm happy. You know, life is a stage. And when you come on the stage and your time is finished, you leave the stage and go about your business. Let your audience decide what you did. But the main point I want to say, whether we did this, didn't do that, whatever. Now the government is in the hand of Honorable Joseph Nyeman Boakai. He's responsible for the country. Everything wrong or right, it is responsibility. That's why they say heavy is the head that wears the crown. So what he is supposed to do now is to right the wrong, correct what was wrong, and improve what needs to be. So whether we are build a million-mile road or he didn't build, is no longer there. His time finished. He's off the stage. Now, we as citizens need to bring some of the things we think need to be done. Situation. Our children are dying terribly. Children all night in the street. They're going. Something has to be done about them. It's government responsibility to protect our citizens. The children must be protected. Something must happen about this drug. Otherwise, we'll continue on flip-flopping. China got rid of this thing. They made it up. They catch it with you, only God will save you. And that's the only way. We have to take some drastic measures. Talk about the corruption, another area that we need to tackle. The president himself, I listened to him on social media. Where are the roads? He said there was money. We know some of these people where the money went. This is Boakai's administration. And no, not J.J. Robert being ordered there, Tottenham being ordered there, we are being ordered there. They can make all the noise and make. He's not there no more. When you're running for those positions, you should know some of the things you're going to be faced with. We don't have any residential area no more. Everywhere they see the hole, they put out the mark. No, that's not to be done. The government needs to do something about that. Motorbike ball. Everywhere you see a pile of police standing out. I said, we don't need to do that. Government needs to make a decision. This is what the decision communicated to your people. Now, when you violate it, well, then you're looking for your own trouble. We don't have to have hundreds of police officers wasting time in the street chasing motorbikes. This is the thing. An indisciplined public service.
David Fahad is Liberia former finance minister speaking. And now to this development, President Joseph Nyeman Boakai has attracted commendation from the Prison Fellowship Liberia for granting executive clemency to 75 inmates in prison facilities across the country. It can be recalled that President Boakai extended his presidential generosity to 75 inmates who have exhibited good behavior as part of activities marking the observance of Liberia's 178th independence celebration. Prison Fellowship Liberia Country Director Reverend Francis Colley lauded the president's gesture, adding that it will help mitigate overcrowding in prisons facility in the country. Addressing the press conference Monday, July 28, 2025, Reverend Colley also extended similar praises to the Minister of Justice for beginning the renovation of the female ward at the Monrovia Central Prison and other prison facilities across the country. The Progressive Student Alliance has announced that it will form part of a pending protest against the increase of rape and gender-based violence related matters slated for August 27, 2025. The Progressive Student Alliance, PROSA for short, is a campus-based political party at the state-run university. Speaking to newsmen in a press conference held on the University of Liberia main campus, PROSA chairman Justin Jaliba urged women and youth organizations and religious leaders, students, and civil society organizations to form part of the protest. Chairman Jaliba disclosed that PROSA is not satisfied by efforts made by the Unity Party-led government in curbing the proliferation of rape across the country. Jaliba frowned at what he described as a massive increase in the occurrence of rape and gender-based violence. The Liberian National Police and the religious community have clamored a one-day brainstorming dialogue aimed at addressing the recent scuffle between an officer of the Liberian National Police and Madam Zainab Bar in Monrovia. The religious community was represented by a 7-man delegation, including Reverend Dr. Christopher Toh, Secretary General, the Liberal Council of Churches, Moderator Sinje Abiose Tibet, and Vice President and Acting President LCC, and Imam Ali Krai, Chief Imam of the National Muslim, that's the National Imam Council of Liberia. Other participants are Kuku Reeves, Secretary General, the National Muslim Council of Liberia, Mrs. Rebecca Tapep, Major Secretary General, Interreligious Council of Liberia, Mohammed Kelzulu, Assistant Secretary General, Interreligious Council of Liberia, and Momolu Vini, Deputy Secretary General, the National Muslim Council of Liberia. The LMP was represented by Inspector General Gregory Codmore and other top brass of LMP. Speaking to journalists minutes after the meeting, the Secretary General of the Liberian Council of Churches, Reverend Christopher Toh, disclosed that religious and ethnic tolerance as a key social factor that is required for people from faith groups was at the top of the meeting agenda. Reverend Toh added that the meeting also resolved with a recommendation to organize a workshop that would target pastors, imams, and police officers. The purpose for the proposed workshop, according to Reverend Toh, is to help provide education on the roles of police through public sensitization and awareness. Reverend Toh called on all citizens and residents within the border of Liberia to not interpret the accusation between Madam Bar and the unnamed police officer as an ethnic and religious conflict. And now to this development. In a bid to restore confidence and improve public service delivery, the Liberia Transit Management Authority, or LTM, has announced plans to rehire 90% of its former employees pending a pre-qualification process. This comes in the wake of recent protests by several aggrieved former employees of the Ministry of Transport who took their grievances to the 55th Legislature at the Capitol building. The concern followed the signing of a new operational agreement between the Ministry of Transport and the government of Liberia. Speaking to a team of journalists at his office, Fadi Agwada, Director of Operation and Project at LTM, confirmed that the re-employment process is underway. He emphasized that the institution is committed to delivering quality service to the Liberian people, and the rehiring efforts form part of that commitment. Fadi Agwada says it aims to build a more professional and effective team that can meet the transport needs of Liberians across the country.
Motor licensing services, driver license, vehicle registration, vehicle inspection, paying fines. This is meant to be a one-stop shop for the customers to come and do all these services in one place. Even insurance companies will be hosted here in our compound. So as you can see here, I will show you around the place. This is the inspection center where the vehicles will go and be inspected for roadworthiness, for the mechanical inspection. Sitting here, they will be ushered to this area where they will where they fill the application form, and then they will proceed to the bank to pay. Here they can do driver license, vehicle registration, pay fines, pay for the impoundment fees. Everything can be done in one place here. The last stop will be the delivery room, where the customer will come here and find all their documents ready for delivery, whether it's a license plate, driver license, vehicle registration, anything that you will collect it from here, you'll sign for it, and then you can leave. Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Here, if you have all your documents ready with you and nothing missing, it should take around. Here we count in minutes, we don't count in days. We are a private company, we are employing Liberians. 98% are Liberians. We have discussed this with the ministry a few times already, and we have invited them to give us the list of people who they have so that we can see who can actually fit in our profile and maybe we can onboard them.
If you're just joining us, as a reminder, you are listening to Key News, 45 minutes of news presentation about Liberia and other parts of the world. On this presentation, my name is Daniel Theophilus Cole, and let's bring you more developments here. The administration of Madiye Keman Public School has warned it could face serious difficulties reopening for the next academic year if government does not assist quality. The warning came after it emerged that the school administration and property owners were embroiled in a dispute over renter agreement. According to Madam Kebe Kennedy, the administration is fully committed to providing quality education to students, but the impasse with the property owners is promoting the need to relocate a school in order to provide a good learning environment. The school principal, Kebe Kennedy, said the institution is also experiencing a string of challenges which tend to force it closure. They include overcrowding in classroom, the lack of chairs, and the deplorable condition of buildings. Mrs. Dauda Dio made the disclosure during the recent 20th graduation program held Friday in Blacktown, Carisburg, Montserrado County.
Success story for this year is overwhelming. I cannot state all here. At least today we have reached this far in our academic 2024-2025 year. The enrollment was overwhelming as compared to past years, and the reasons are there. The building we are using, the property that we occupy, is not government-owned property. It's a private property. And this property owner have the habit of every time coming to disrupt classes. In 2022-2023 academic year, that was under the past President Weah regime. She locked that door. We were out of school for almost 2 months. President Weah had to call her and according to her and give her $20,000 US. She says that was a deal signed between her, President Weah government and her. And then when President Boakai took over, she came again in September when we started our first period test October 7th. She came. When you look in our survey here, you will see some pictures there about the building. When she called the capital to come and lock the door while the children were in class taking a test. She and one of our female teacher even got into fights, and then the door was locked. And she said, if the government don't give her money, we will not have access to the building. The CEO over then came and talked, the DO came and talked, and she said she was not opening the building. And we stayed out of school for almost 3 weeks, and the children ran out of patience. They came to put fire on the quota. They started demonstrating. Our security had to come in, police, other security apparatus had to come in to intervene and had to come in. After that, the government was able to pay some money to her, as she told our PTA leadership, and they told me that the government was able to give her 10,000. But she said that 10,000 was for 6 months, and by April she was coming back to lock that whole building. But since then we are not seeing her. We can't say 2 buildings, one dwelling place, 3 bedrooms. We just patch it. If you go there, you don't even see classroom space. We are just managing and seeing the level of work that was done. And the other past leaders, past principal have been doing that. But for the Liberian children, you see how the children spoke today. You see their level of education. We are not in a learning space. I can recall they came and they said we should find a spot so that the government can buy to be able to put a structure down for the school. And then we went inside Blacktown Town here. We found a land, some of the private property that they are waiting to give to the government. And the ministers came, they did survey, they went around, the woman came, they introduced the woman to them. But since then, we have not heard from the government. So, we are educators, students of education. I graduated from the Western VS Government Teachers College. I know what a classroom space is. And if you go back with our personal listing, we got so many qualified teachers. If the government provide that learning atmosphere, that learning environment, that classroom space, I can assure President Boakai that he will get the best out of Madiye Keman. Then the government, if they can relocate, let them be able to negotiate with the ladies to be able to build a decent structure for us. If you take your camera there now, the place just leaking on us. When we even do our labor registration, we pass. Last baby ban existing since 2005 up to present. And one thing, when the government gave her the money, I don't know the arrangement between that lady and the government. When the government gave her the money to even come to say my people out, then the 1,000 here, you don't try to renovate so part of the baby. When she go, she go. The only time we see her, the government refused to pay her. Then she come. Maybe she will come and lock that place. Because we don't know the arrangement now between she and the government. We are just there now. Nobody coming to tell us what is going on, what is unfolding, as to whether the school will be relocated, nothing.
Speaking at the program, the Chief of Office Staff of Montserrat County District 1 Representative Rookie Barry, William Bill Montgomery, expressed appreciation to school and parents for good working relation and said Representative Rookie Barry stands ready to assist the school, including providing financial assistance to unenrolled students from kindergarten to ninth grade. He reminded the students to devote more time to their studies, particularly reading materials that benefit the country.
Number three thing. Number one, you are capable. You might doubt yourself sometimes whether you are able to do one of the things. But let me remind you, just look at what you have done already. You pass your test, you pass your exam. When the VP of for instruction was giving the school report, he said people drop out. Why did they drop out? There are so many reasons we don't know, but you maintain, you stay in school to this level, so you are capable of completing the level that you have. Number two, you are needed. You are needed. MPPTUT. Liberia needs young people like you, smart, creative, and passionate. Your community needs you. Your community needs your ideas, your leadership, your kindness. There are a lot of smart people around here. Somebody will have some document they want to give. You don't have to read it. They will call you, say, oh, man, get rather from that way. Please help me to read this. And you will read it so eloquently. That's what I mean by you are needed in the community to help others. And the last one is that you are just getting started. You have not arrived yet. Don't stop here. Today is not the end. It is the beginning. Continue to set goals. Continue to grow. Continue to rise. Life will not always. As your representative, not me, Honorable Barry. As your representative, I strongly believe in education as the most powerful tool we can use to change lives and build a better future. I am proud to say that throughout the district, I have offered scholarships and financial aid for so many students who are making strides in their educational sojourn. And so today, I'm honored to offer all the gifts from the previous classes financial aid. I don't want to say scholarship because I know the fees that you have as a purpose, but financial aid that will help you to buy your uniform, buy your books, buy your stickers, pay one or two things. So we'll get in contact with the principal to give us a list of the requirements and we'll provide that. And finally, to the parents and guardians, I say thank you. Thank you for standing firm, for sacrificing, and for choosing to invest in your children. Even when times were hard, your love and guidance are what got them to where they are now. It is not easy to pay. It's not easy to make a child receive money every day, but you went through the sacrifice and you've done that. That's why you are a proud parent. To the teachers and staff, you are the builders of the nation. Thank you for pouring your hearts. We see your efforts and we honor you. And to my dear graduates, I say again, will you please stand? I say again to you, congratulations. Wherever life takes you from here, walk with confidence, walk with purpose. Keep your dreams alive and never forget where you come from. May your future be bright, may your journey be bold, and your heart remain filled with the same passion and curiosity that brought you to this heart. Congratulations.
William Bill Montgomery is the Chief of Office Staff in the Office of Representative Rookie Barry of Montserrat County District 1. Earlier you listened to Quebec Kennedy. Let's now bring you this development. The leadership of Shara community located in Dubodro, Montserrat County District 4 is calling on the national government for greater support following the dedication of a new community initiative project. Speaking at the dedication ceremony, the chairlady of the Shara community, Dowdy Days Garnett, praised residents for their contributions towards the success of the project and charged members of the community to see the new bridge that was constructed as their own. Mrs. Garnett also outlined the cost of the milestone reached under her leadership and that of her team. She expressed hope that national government could step in to support and strengthen their ongoing development to extend to other parts of the area.
My thanks and appreciation to the chairlady, Ghana. Thanks very much for your empowerment and thanks very much for the road. As you build this road so that God can build your life. In Jesus' name, God, thank you for Mr. Ghana. So, we're not easy for us. All children need to go through this kind of Our children will go to school. Every day is telling them off. But 10 district and their promise us, our children will go. They will not put them outside. Since my brother didn't go in, never put my brother outside. So I just want to say, thank you for your good work. God will guide her and protect her. Wherever she wants in her life, she will go, she will travel for many nations. God will protect her the way He protects Shara. In Jesus' name.
One side, government is continuum. The government, it must go. Government start, they're not static. When start the government, somebody must end the government. And nobody must come. Somebody say, hey, why you know you don't do the rule? You are not saying the right thing. Why you didn't start the rule? Because brother is ending it. In Jesus' name. Again, we want to call the people cow feet and the people are made to follow. We both using these rules. When we started and we saw recipes and when we keep it, it was right over there. And we keep it, make sure I collaborated those people that know the rule and we all need to work on the road together. So when we send it out to our people and know the road and for us again, we also will stand our vision again. So our honorable lawmaker, Marcus Thomas, you were also there. For so say here is that we are just beginning to begin, Mr. Honorable Thomas. We have just started the work, so we need more support. As the guy was saying, we need a government effort because we cannot do it alone. In Jesus' name. My name is Value, and we head this committee at Chairman of Town, and now we're serving as member of the Elder Council, driving behind the chariot.
Extend my thanks and appreciation to the chair lady, Ghana. Thanks very much for your empowerment and thanks very much for the role. As you build this role so that God can build your life. In Jesus' name, God, thank you for the Ghana. Some of us, we're not easy for us. Our children need to go through this kind of thing. Our children will go to school. Every day is telling them off. But 10 district and their promise us, our children will go. They will not put them outside. Since my brother didn't go in, never put my brother outside. So I just want to say, thank you for your good work. God will guide her and protect her. Wherever she wants in her life, she will go, she will travel for many nations. God will protect her the way He protects Shara. In Jesus' name.
One side, government is continuum. The government, it must go. Government start, they're not static. When start the government, somebody must end the government. And nobody must come. Somebody say, hey, why you know you don't do the rule? You are not saying the right thing. Why you didn't start the rule? Because brother is ending it. In Jesus' name. Again, we want to call the people cow feet and the people are made to follow. We both using these rules. When we started and we saw recipes and when we keep it, it was right over there. And we keep it, make sure I collaborated those people that know the rule and we all need to work on the road together. So when we send it out to our people and know the road and for us again, we also will stand our vision again. So our honorable lawmaker, Marcus Thomas, you were also there. For so say here is that we are just beginning to begin, Mr. Honorable Thomas. We have just started the work, so we need more support. As the guy was saying, we need a government effort because we cannot do it alone. In Jesus' name. My name is Value, and we head this committee at Chairman of Town, and now we're serving as member of the Elder Council, driving behind the chariot. In Jesus' name. Mr. Ghana, thank you.
President Joseph Nyema Boakai has announced the establishment of a high-level presidential ad hoc committee to investigate the rising cost of basis commodities. In his 178th Independence Day message, the Liberian leader vowed to ensure fair play in the economy, stating the price of commodities appear to be high, which contradicts the reduction in import traffics. In praise that him raised concern over the prevailing price of imported building materials and some kind of food, including flour, sugar, and other essential commodities. President Boakai designated Vice President Jeremiah Kpankun to chair the Presidential Ad Hoc Committee. The committee is tasked with the duty to investigate the root causes of price disparities and report in 45 days for immediate action to ensure fairness and stability of the local market.
Liberia must not be left behind, but to move forward. we must first heal the divisions that threaten to pull us apart. Our development will not endure without reconciliation. Our future cannot take root without unity. That is why this year's theme, One People, One Destiny, Healing the Past and Building the Future, rings loud with such urgency. There is no greater task before us than building a Liberia that is good for all Liberians. We must be inspired by words that say, I quote, where there was once a shadows, light has fallen. Yes, Liberia has known darkness, but today we must be able to be bearers of the new light, a light that reveals our common purpose. The nation has made progress, and we must urgently work using the positive from Liberia's exceptionalism to accelerate our efforts and catch up. For it is only through reconciliation that we can fully heal and move forward as one people.
The 178th Independence Day orator, Reverend Emmett Dawn, has called on Liberians to reimagine the country's identity and forge one vision to build a vibrant society. Reverend Dawn, in his Independence Day oration, urged citizens to put aside political ethics and religious differences and unite to support the national government to achieve its developmental goals. Reverend Dawn emphasized that building a successful nation does not rest solely with the government, noting that every citizen must reflect on the identity of the country as one nation, and people feel the sense of obligation to the nation-building efforts. Instead, remarking Liberia's identity as an invincible nation will redefine the country's future and place it on the right path for a prosperous destiny.
The future we hope for, a Liberia that is peaceful, prosperous, and just, demands the participation of all Liberians. My people, I am not asking us to do the impossible. Others have gone down this road before, and they have overcome. We can do the same. So in our effort to contribute to nation building, our young people must rise, not just to seek jobs, but to create them. Our leaders must rise, not just to seek power, but to serve with integrity. Our communities must rise, not with violence or division, but with unity and shared purpose. Let us move away from the politics of blame and embrace the politics of building. Let us not only demand change, but let us be committed to be the change that we demand. The Liberian dream must be built by Liberian hands. The future is not a gift wrapped and given to us. It is a responsibility that we must earn. Building that future means embracing a new national covenant. To accomplish this task of national building, I offer 5 pillars for your consideration. Pillar number 1, I call us to reimagine our national identity. Liberia stands at a moment where we must reimagine our future. And that future must begin with a foundation, write a new chapter in our national narrative that binds us, not by the division of our past, but by the sheer hope of our collective destiny.
For his part, President Joseph Boakai has vowed to push national reconciliation and unity across the country. According to President Boakai, the move is a key step towards achieving his government's national development plan, the IRS agenda for inclusive development. The Liberian leader noted that national development cannot be felt without healing the division that threatens to pull the countries apart.
While our country and our economy is making steady progress, our domestic revenue remains limited, and many families continue to feel the weight of high prices. Transportation costs are too high. The prices of flour, sugar, and other essential goods continue to be a burden. Building materials are still expensive, making it hard for ordinary Liberians to construct houses and businesses. This contradiction, where import costs have fallen, yet market prices remain high, requires urgent attention. Therefore, I am establishing a high-level presidential ad hoc committee to investigate these disparities and recommend practical solutions for our immediate action. The commission and the committee will be chaired by someone I trust dearly, a dedicated public servant and an experienced businessman, the Vice President Jeremiah Bankun. The committee will work swiftly and submit a comprehensive report within 45 days with clear recommendations to restore fairness and stability in our market system. Fellow Liberians, I stand before you,
And now to end this news presentation this morning, let's bring you our international development here, where dozens of people were killed on Sunday in an attack on a church in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, believed to have carried out by Islamic State-backed rebels. Civil society leaders said suspected members of the alien democratic force stormed the building in the town of Komanda, armed with machetes gun. The attack took place at the Catholic Christians attended an overnight prayer vigil at a church run by the Siratas charity. Several houses and shops were also burned down, and the search continued for missing people. Well, join us at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. for another presentation of K News. On behalf of the news department, my name is Daniel Theophilus Cole. Thanks for listening.